I'm gonna go stupid.
A jollof empanada.
I'm gonna go stupid.
That sounds disgusting.
I used to sell empanadas with my aunt. So don't talk to me about empanadas. You heard?
My nigga,
I am the empanada god. You hear me?
I'm not eating empanadas with ketchup. That is crazy,
you
bro.
You need to put ketchup on it. Trust me, bro. Trust me, bro.
No.
Oh my god, y'all niggas don't know what.
I wouldn't even put ketchup on a vegan empanada, bro. Sorry.
No, that's insane, bro. I've eaten different types of empanada. I've had what do you call it? A red velvet. Have you ever had a red velvet cake empanada?
A red velvet cake empanada?
No, nigga, because that's some gringo ass shit. That's gringo ass shit.
Dessert empanadas, they belong at Taco Bell.
You don't put ketchup in dessert empanadas.
These are Puerto Ricans that are making them, so they cannot be
that's some gringo shit. One. They came here, saw velvet cake, and then vamos ponerlo en una empanada. That's gringo shit.
Pastelillo.
That shit is
exactly.
Not empanada.
You know it's the same shit.
Pastelillo.
The name of the place is called Empanada.
No. It's different because pastelillos are small. Yes or no?
Is that a Taco Bell bag?
It doesn't matter. You say pastelillo to any.
This is an empanada, bro.
Bro, that is all disco.
That's what I'm saying. Look at that shit.
You got carne and like this little tiny.
That's what an empanada
right
is.
Here, and it's just
that's
all
insane,
disco,
bro.
That's like
insane.
This much disc and like this much stuff.
You got mad loaf.
Listening to what I'm saying?
No fucking.
To what I'm saying?
No
are you
fucking.
Listening to what I'm saying?
No fucking beef. Pause, my nigga. You crazy as hell for that.
It's not beef. It's cheese in it, by the way. So.
Oh, nah. That's another thing that I don't like. That's another thing. That's another thing I don't like. I don't like cheese empanadas. I have to have some type of
cheese empanadas. Like
I've had cheese empanadas. Just stop talking about empanadas, bro.
No. Vegan I said I don't like it. I said I don't like it.
Stop talking about empanadas. Stop talking about empanadas.
I have every right to not like a cheese empanada because I can't eat just cheese like that. That's crazy, son. And then
it's not just cheese. How are you just eating cheese, nigga? That's not just cheese. You eat a grilled cheese,
son. Oh my god,
it's the same shit, nigga.
That's a good comparison. A cheese pastelillo and a grilled cheese are kind of the same thing.
It's the same shit. The only one that one is fucking not
again.
Grilled.
It's not the same. One, it's not the same type of bread. One and two. It depends on the cheese.
You know what?
Like
Mac,
if you're gonna use,
I'm
first
not
of all,
gonna
I don't
argue with you about some BS, bro, because you never lose. You should have been a lawyer, man. I swear to God.
Yeah, right. He was like, no,
I swear to God. You out here talking about empanadas. You don't even know how to make one. Just shut up.
How you know I don't know how to make empanada?
How
you know I don't know how to make empanada? How you know I don't know how to?
Bro.
How do you know? How do you know?
So then you need.
Now I'm gonna make empanada. No, now I'm gonna make one.
That was the whole point. You have to send me. I'm gonna tell you.
Whenever,
fuck out of here. You ain't getting that shit.
Listen, Mac. Whenever there's like a cooking show that might be like a competition or something like that, you should introduce.
You're giving out my secrets.
You should introduce.
That's in the production.
A jollof empanada.
Oh nah, I read your lips, bro. No, do not do.
Because that was how we opened the pod. He was like, "Yo, jollof empanadas would be crazy, so you should be the one to do it."
Come on, man. If there was a jollof empanada, bro, that shit would go stupid, bro.
You see, what I'm saying? Do not talk empanadas, bro.
I'll fuck up the streets with that shit, bro.
Have you eaten egg empanadas?
Egg?
You see what I'm saying?
Oh my God, Dominicans will put anything and everything, bro.
You see what I'm saying?
Y'all niggas are just talk. Yeah. So wait, hold on. Let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you this, right? On an egg, on a cheese empanada, right? Mm-hmm. I'm saying just because I know that they can put cheese and meat in the empanada, but they do make cheese empanadas, correct?
Yes.
That's straight cheese.
That's what I just told you. I got straight cheese.
So if it's just straight cheese, you're gonna eat that with ketchup?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. I'm sorry. That's crazy.
It is not straight cheese. It's not like I grabbed a block of cheese, put ketchup on it, and bit it, nigga. It's not.
No, I know, bro, but no,
it is,
son.
What you're saying is doesn't make sense because you're saying you're eating straight cheese with ketchup. I'm not eating that.
No, I know you're not eating straight
Crispin
cheese. You're eating
obviously enjoys ketchup. There are some people in this world that love
ketchup.
condiments. Right? They put ketchup on everything. They put barbecue, hot sauce, whatever on everything.
What I just ate is literally a jarroa, right? I'm gonna explain what this is. It is French fries with meat on top, cheese on top, ketchup and mayo. That's what it is.
Okay,
that's what a jarroa is.
That's fine though. That's fine.
Then what is the problem with me putting cheese on ketchup ketchup in a cheese empanada. I don't see the problem.
No, that's crazy, bro. That's right. Right there, you lost me. I can't lie to you. You lost me right there.
Nah, bro.
Right there. Bro. I'm sorry.
If you never tasted it, you can't knock it. I'm sorry.
As much as I wish this was an empanada podcast.
Yeah.
It's not.
We just talked to empanada for 5 minutes.
Yeah, right. We just had a whole empanada segment.
Facts.
I think it's a good time to introduce the pod, Mac. Okay, hold on. I got to lower the volume. Everybody at home.
Yeah, mine is all the way down.
Be prepared. You might want to lower your volume.
If you guys listening to...
We can't see you either.
Hold on. Let me mute these motherfuckers because they're going to talk. I got to get my shit off. Mute. All right, let me get my shit off. You feel me? If you listened or watched the last episode, you know what episode this is. It's our 1-year anniversary. What's good? What the fuck is going on? It's your boy Macky. O-M. What's good, people? It's been a year since we started this shit. What the fuck? Oh, man, I'm hyped. Hold up. Let me get all my drops through. I forgot to get more drops, but I don't give a fuck. What the fuck is going on, people? It's your boy Macky, OMO. I'm here with my good brother, Johnny B, the Razor Sharp Assassin with the Clipper. And we got the El Hokage, the Empanada Daddy, Crispin.
Facts.
And we are the Paradise Podcast. What the fuck is going on?
I'm happy today.
What's going on, people? As you can see, I'm very excited. It is our 1-year anniversary. It's been 365 days since we started up the Paradise page on YouTube. Actually, it's been longer than 365 days since we started the Paradise page, but it has been a year since we aired our first episode. It's crazy. April 11th of last year was our actual first episode. So April 11th of this year makes actually 1 year, even though this episode will drop later in the week, which is Thursdays at 12 p.m. So I'm excited. How are you guys doing today? How's everybody doing? How's everybody living? How's everybody hanging?
We chilling. You know what I'm saying?
Feeling pretty good. Today is also my dad's birthday. So
shit.
I don't remember that we did it on his birthday, but I guess I'll never forget the anniversary now.
Shout out to Papa. Shout out to Papa Bonanno.
Yeah, that Super Mario looking motherfucker.
That's a perfect sound for him then.
Yeah, no, I swear to God, imagine a Puerto Rican Super Mario. That's my dad. That's my dad.
That is funny as hell.
So today we're gonna switch it up. We're not gonna do the verses today or the what you watching, what you playing, what you eating. But I'm gonna hand it over to Johnny B to kind of take the reins for today's episode and kind of lead us into some of the things we have going on for you. I don't have too much of a list as well as far as news is concerned. The only really, really big thing that has happened was the Kingdom Hearts thing, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Mm-hmm. And I think that's about it, though. That's all I really have. There was more, but I forgot to write it down.
The only thing, because we're going to get to it eventually, but if you can have it so that way maybe we could see it on screen when you share your screen, is maybe get some of the price information for those two programs that we were talking about. That we're
it sucks fucking Shawnee's not here to do this shit.
I know. It's definitely a bummer. Maybe he can just give us a little sprinkle of his opinion on the next episode, and then we can move on to something else.
By the next episode, we're gonna be over it. So he missed it. Sucks for that nigga.
But yeah, so if you can pull up those, and maybe we could have something that we could do a side by side. That might be very helpful visually to anybody consuming the podcast on the YouTube channel. But yeah, so since we have made a full year, and we do have new faces that are a part of the podcast, I know that some people that may have seen a little bit of the early stuff that Mac and I did together when it was just the two of us. Mac and I, and even Dean on occasions, would talk about, like how essentially we got into some of our favorite things, like what sparked our interest in these mediums, whether it be video games or watching anime or anything like that. So I kind of wanted to ask everyone, and I was hoping that we would have a few more faces today, but I wanted to be able to ask everybody, what was it that basically introduced you to that medium of choice, right? So I know, Crispin, you say that you're not as big in the video games as you were for the anime. So I guess for your explanation, what was it that did it for you, that you saw an anime, or you saw something, you were exposed to something, and then you said this is it? And then what was that journey like?
For me, is my mic good? I'm not hearing it.
You sound good.
All right, cool. For me, it was mostly a combination of Dragon Ball Z specifically, like literally from the beginning. Digimon, Beyblade, like these are the ones that I was like watching, like that I didn't know were anime. I just thought it was like regular cartoons and stuff. Those were the ones that started. Digimon, Pokemon.
Now you have a very unique experience, very different than Macky and myself. Were you first exposed to anime when you were here in the States, or was this back home in DR that you were exposed to the Spanish dub?
Most of the anime was in DR for sure.
So very first exposure.
Dragon Ball Z was
Spanish
DR.
dub.
Boom.
Dragon Ball. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And Pokemon too. The song in Spanish and everything. That's like my first song I learned from anime. The Pokemon song in Spanish. That should go
That must sound hilarious in Spanish.
No, it's the same song and everything. It starts the same as everything is the same. The only thing the words lyrics. Is in Spanish.
Yeah.
And they mean the same too. There's a good translation too. But yeah, that was my thing. It was just like in Spanish, but the experience was that we didn't see it at home. We saw it at the corner store because they had cable. Bodega. Yeah, en la bodega, en el colmado, como dicen en DR, el colmado. So we used to go, 14 kids watching this TV that he had like hanged on the top, and we all there with chips. Everybody had one chip and one juice. That was un peso at that time. Now it's like 25 pesos each. Shit.
Sheesh.
Pesos are not dollars.
No, I know, but like, but compared to what he just said, it was 5 for one, and now it's 25. That's like,
it's crazy.
That's inflation.
No, that's a big inflation.
I know it's still cheap here, relatively cheap here.
Yeah.
For the niggas over there, that's why I'm saying, damn, not for me.
So we
I know I go over there, I ball out. I'm rich.
We would sit there and then just go and watch that. And then
the owner of the store never had an issue with all of these kids just being in his space.
Didn't care. He didn't care. Because the thing was that he understood that we weren't gonna go outside and do knucklehead stuff, at least for that hour.
Because there was like
they would put Pokemon first, right? Because in DR we used to go to school from 7 o'clock to 12. So once we got home, it was like Pokemon at 1. Digimon at 2, like it was just like Digimon at 2, and then Dragon Ball Z at 3, and then they put like Sailor Moon for the little girls, and then once Sailor Moon came in, everybody dipped outside, and that was the last one. It was just like, yo, I'm Goku, yo, I'm Gohan, yo, I'm this guy, yo, I'm this guy, and then we started fighting like play fighters. That was how we related to the thing. We didn't know it was like anime. Like, you know how everybody's like, oh, anime this, anime that. Anime. It was just like, oh no, we watching muñequitos,
a cartoon that you enjoyed. Yeah. Okay.
And that's how I got introduced. And talking about video games, because I have played video games my entire life as well. I just never been like a video game head.
Okay.
Like,
and what was your introduction
the first
into
video
the
game,
gaming
the
world?
Super Nintendo was the first one.
You had one, or you were able to play someone else's?
We had one. No, we had one.
Okay.
Because when we were here, my mom bought us one. When we were in DR, I had a PS2, a Game Boy. I had a Color, It was only one for 3 of us. One Game Boy for 3 of us, and there was one Pokemon game. Nobody could touch it but my older brother.
It was his safe.
Because he was the one playing it.
Yeah.
Yep. He was like, "Don't touch my game. Play." We had another. I had, I think, NBA Jam on the Game Boy. That's what I used to play, and that's why when I played PlayStation, I played 2K. Because it was always
that's where
game.
You were always playing the basketball games anyway. So it was always easy a sports to just game. Say, I want to play the new one.
I was like, okay. I know how to play basketball on a Nintendo or whatever. You know what I'm saying? On a console. Yo, salud.
Oh, we haven't popped. We haven't popped bottles yet.
I just opened one and I just toasted it up.
So
I got a couple here.
So it was just like that's how I got into all that stuff. Like it was literally into all that stuff. But when I really got into it was in middle school, and I was here, and it was just like I would see clips and stuff, and I'm like, I'm understand. It's more fun for me because I'm bigger and I understand more.
Yeah.
Pokemon, the adventure, like the anime for Pokemon dropped that. Digimon was way better for me, and I watched that again. I watched all the Digimon.
Okay.
It was like 1 through like 5, I think it's 5 of them.
I like Digimon a lot too.
All of the stuff, like to this day, is what like made me fall in love with anime. That's when Naruto used to come out. Like came over here to the west, to the west, to the east, to the east,
the west.
The west came to the west. Yeah. So that's when Naruto really came to the west. Like it was just like bang bang, and I was like, oh shit, this nigga's cool. And I used to watch Naruto on YouTube, part by part, like.
When they chopped it up in pieces because you could only do like copyright a 7-minute video.
Yeah, max. Copyright on YouTube wasn't that crazy like it is now, but
not back in the day. Yeah. Not in 2004, 2005.
That was my introduction to everything.
Mm-hmm. Don't.
That's fine, man.
You want to give the listeners your story?
Oh, redo it?
Yeah, just a little summary.
Before I do that, I wanted to say, because Crispin had reminded me about something that I just found out recently. I did not know that Sega actually started like the 2K series. The 2K series started on Sega, and then eventually they became the conglomerate that they are now. But yeah, like they were actually the rivals to I think it was Madden. And the only reason why they fell off was because while Madden came out at like $49.99, the 2K NFL 2K only came out at like I think $20. So then the next year, Madden had signed a deal with the NFL. Yeah, and it just kind of killed 2K or Sega 2K anyway. But they rebounded with 2K Sports and all the other stuff that they're doing. But yeah, just to give my little quick background, because I mean, if you want to catch the full thing, you can catch it on the first episode. Basically, I want to say, like, I feel like it's the same thing as Crispin's. We mostly started watching this shit, didn't know it was Japanese anime, up until maybe I got to like middle school when my boy was teaching me how to draw, and I learned how to draw the anime eyes and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I used to do the anime stuff too, drawing.
But yeah, I mean, I want to say the first anime I ever watched may have been Pokemon. I was a Pokemon fanatic when I was younger.
Same.
Went to the movies, saw the first movie, saw the second movie in the movie theater.
Yep.
Got the legendary card. I think the one I got was Articuno. Saw the Mewtwo movie. I remember second grade when I was going to my first time ever going to Nigeria. My parents had pulled me out of class early because we were traveling the next day, and we were in the middle of watching the second Pokemon. I think the second one is with Mewtwo or first one.
The first one.
The first one, yeah. I think we were watching the first one, which is Mewtwo Strikes Back. Yeah, so we were watching that shit. Then eventually, of course, I learned about Dragon Ball Z, and eventually my favorite anime of all time, Yu Yu Hakusho. And I think after I watched Yu Yu Hakusho for the first time is when I really, really fell in love with anime. It was just something that it was just different. Then as I grew up, I kind of watched a little bit of One Piece when I was little. The 4Kids version I regret it to this day because the dub was terrible.
Jesus.
The dub was terrible. I remember watching Naruto, but never really getting that much into it until I got, older. I mean, it's still trash, but that's neither here nor there. I never saw Bleach or heard about Bleach until maybe like within the last 4 or 5 years. But yeah, bro. What other anime like fucking Cyborg 009, Sailor Moon, of course. Digimon, of course. Zatch Bell, Ultimate Muscle was another one that I really, really liked when I was younger. That was also on 4Kids. Most people didn't really watch that one, but yeah, I mean, that's as far as anime goes. And gaming, I mean, my first game system was the Sega Genesis. And I had the NBA Jam, the one where you could fucking shoot and the ball fire and shit like that.
And your sneakers for the turbo, your sneakers got the color of the team. That shit
yes, bro. That shit was hard. That shit was hard. Then
I need an emulator to play that shit again.
Bro, I cannot lie, bro. Fucking
not hard to do.
What do you call it? Or if what's her name? Nintendo. Hey, that's another one you should put on the DLCs if you get a chance.
Come on, talk to me.
I know licensing issues there.
They own. Don't they own Sega?
No, Sega's their own. No, Sega's their own independent studio. They're a third party game developer now.
Okay. Well, we can always dream. Not with Nintendo, but we can always dream to dream. You feel me? But after Sega Genesis, we went to the N64. I got, of course, Mario 64. Me and my brother were talking about the other day when we first bought the Snap game, the Pikachu
Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, Pokemon Snap. Bro, we bought that shit the first day. Bro, we returned it the next day. Me and my brother was like, "What is this bullshit?"
Not down for taking pictures.
No, I want to fight. That's when we went to go get Pokemon.
I'm a photographer. I don't want that.
I was gonna say you didn't buy the game for that.
Bro, we just saw Pikachu and I was like, yeah, let's fucking get it. Like, yeah. So we got that the next day. We
said Pikachu, let's get it.
Hell yeah, bro. Return that shit. Then we got Pokemon Stadium.
And that's your battle simulator for the N64.
Yes, that was the one.
There was also an adapter for that allowed you to play Red and Blue on your N64. You could play it on your TV.
I was about to say that.
Pokemon Stadium.
You could actually take the Pokemon that you had in Red and Blue or even Silver or whatever and put them in the game and fight with them with the powers that they had in the game.
With Stadium 2. With Stadium 2, you could do Gold and Silver. But with the original Stadium, it was only Red and Blue.
Red and Blue? Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so, it was the thing that went in the back of the N64
controller. Yeah. No, I didn't have that much money, but I definitely wish I did.
I didn't have that either.
I went to after that we got the Game Boy, had the Game Boy. My brother had a Game Boy Advance. And then my parents bought us all Game Boy Advance SPs. I had like the rare one that was only 500 made in the world, and of course,
the black and silver joint, right?
Yes, the onyx and silver joint. So
when they were mixing those two, they did not do a lot of those. They mix
my dumbass. Guess what I did? My dumbass. I fucking lost it, or I broke it. Some shit like that. I don't even know where that shit is at. It's probably somewhere in my parents' house now. If we take everything apart,
you probably
it's somewhere there.
Chinadu, bro.
Probably. So then eventually, I never had a PlayStation 1, unfortunately. Never had a GameCube either. Because after once we got to the handhelds, we kind of switched to getting PlayStation. And then that's when I really started getting into wrestling games.
Sports games, FIFA and stuff?
FIFA, NBA Live, 2K. Of course, wrestling was really, really big in my house at that time. Here Comes the Pain, Watch Your Mouth. SmackDown versus Raw, the first one, the very first one, not the ones that they put on the 3 and the 4, but the very first one. Even we had WCW versus NWO on the 64. One of my favorite games to play at that time.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Oh my God, this is such a great wrestling game. So, and then eventually, now I'm a big sports game guy. I play only 2K and FIFA for real, unless it's GTA or something that's really, really interesting to me. But yeah, man. And then of course I got the Xbox One S, and then the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3. And then and I also had like a PS. I had a PSP, and I had a Vita. I had mad sports games, bro. I mean, I had mad controllers and shit. All these shits is
You had a lot
gone
of
to the
systems.
wind, bro.
You had
bro.
a lot of systems throughout your
I
lifetime.
either sold them to get the newer ones, or them shits like if it's a handheld one, they disappeared, bro. But if it was like like a PS, because I remember I gave him my PS2 to get my 3, but thank God we didn't give up my 3 to get the 4, because I still have the 3 with me. But
you might want to hold on to the 3. You can't emulate PS3 games very well on anything.
Well, we're gonna talk about that later.
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
We're gonna talk about that later. But so I mean, I'm not giving that shit up, bro. That shit has too many things on there that are not for the podcast right now.
Probably a lot of save data too, bro.
I used to do some nasty stuff on there, my boy. Shout out to PlayStation.
No. Shout out to Sony being the internet browser king.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Sony. Let's not talk about it though.
But yeah, I mean,
PSP was a wild era.
Yo. But now I have like every kind of game. I have an Xbox, I have a Nintendo Switch, and I have a PlayStation 4. Hopefully soon to get the 5 and the Series S or Series X. Probably get the Series S. But yeah, and that's where I'm currently at now, man. I'm very grateful for having parents that, even though they were very strict on me, they allowed me to play video games, because I felt like that shit distracted me from a lot of the other shit that I could have been I could have been, not saying that I had the greatest, the most amazing childhood, but a nigga could have been way more depressed than I was if it wasn't for me being able to play video games to keep my time. And now we're here, trying to talk about playing how we used to play video games for a living. You feel me? So, but yeah, that's where I'm at now. Again, I know I said I was gonna say I know I said it was gonna be short, but when I talk about myself,
it's never short with you.
No story is ever short when Mac tells a story.
Yeah, if you say it's gonna be short, I'm like, all right, we stay here.
We're gonna be here for a minute.
Mac's stories are One Piece arcs, and he gets mad at me.
Facts.
Where do you think I got it from?
Nigga said One Piece.
And you spent so much time with me that you just love to talk.
Hell yeah.
So I've kind of been surrounded by video game stuff my whole life. When I was born, I have a lot of older cousins, so there were already video game systems around in the family. My cousin lived down the hall from me in the same apartment building. And her family had an original NES. So I remember playing the original NES at a very young age, just playing the original Mario game. I remember playing other people's Super Nintendo because I never had a Super Nintendo. They got me a Sega Genesis at one point. Much later, after the Genesis's lifetime. I think the only home console, my first home console that was mine, that was bought as a gift for me, was my N64. And I abused the shit out of Mario 64 and Mario Kart on that thing. But I remember I want to say my genuine introduction to what became the rest of my life with video games was the Christmas of 2000. So in the year 2000 was when the US got the release for Pokemon Gold and Silver. So that Christmas, they bought me a turquoise Game Boy Color. Do I have it here? I think I might actually have it right next to me somewhere. But they got me a turquoise Game Boy Color. I think it's in this one. No, where the fuck is my game? Anyway, so they got me a turquoise Game Boy Color and a copy of Pokemon Silver. And that was what I decided to pour endless amounts of hours. I must have replayed Silver 8 or 9 times. I remember random playthroughs with every starter. I played that game with every starter at least twice. Just because I just became a Poke fanatic. I was big on the anime when the anime came out. I found it. I found it. I was looking for it. So I found it. This is the actual Game Boy Color that I got in the year 2000. This is a 22-year-old video game console.
You should mod that buy shit, a yellow one.
I've been thinking about it.
I was gonna buy a yellow one just because I had a yellow one, just to have it and put it.
Bro, my God, I was gonna do the same thing. I had like a lime green one. I was thinking about doing the same thing.
Yeah. Just to have it. Listen, I'm very lucky that I still have this thing. This isn't my silver version. Obviously, this is gold version. Yeah. I had acquired this years later after the fact, trying to replace my silver version. I had a family member of mine that stole all of my Game Boy
that shit?
games and stuff.
My bad for my words.
It was an adult who sold it because he needed the money, I guess.
Fuck that nigga even harder now.
Yeah, so that person's not really a part of the family anymore, if that makes y'all feel better. But
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, I had somebody who was más o menos family at the time, and they had an opportunity to swipe my shit for some drug money, so they did. So I lost a lot of my original game collection for the Game Boy, including my original copy of Pokemon Silver.
That's such a pain in the ass, bro. You don't understand how bad that
it's stuff I couldn't control at the age that I was. I didn't know what was going on.
Really,
yeah, kid. It happens, man. When you got that itch, these guys out here sell their children's toys for, anything for a fix, bro.
Anything for a fix.
Anything for a fix. It really is like that. So so that was like what introduced me to like Pokemon as a video game, which is what I spent the most time with. I obviously watched the anime on TV when it came out. I bought the VHS tapes when I could find them at the dollar store because they had them at the dollar store at some point. So I would buy all the Pokemon VHS tapes like that. And I rewatched the Indigo Plateau a million times. I was introduced to anime just like everybody else with Dragon Ball and Toonami. As a whole, the Toonami block really did a lot for me because I remember watching Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon on a regular basis, and I loved like the American cartoons that we did get. I always thought they were very, very funny. That was my comedy fix.
Of course.
That was definitely my comedy fix. Like when I wanted to laugh, like Billy and Mandy and like some of these other cartoons and stuff. Where like they're SpongeBob. We're there to make me laugh, Cat Dog and stuff like that. But what I knew I really, really, really loved was that Toonami block, and I just knew there was something different about it. And I always thought they were just older cartoons. I was like, these are just reruns, which they were, but I didn't know they were old for another country. Like when I was younger, like when you're little, you don't really see things like that. You don't see
I don't want to cut you off. Yeah, I don't want to cut you off, but like, did you like when you were younger, when you were watching it, did you even think that this shit is fucking dubbed?
No, not at all. But now when you're a kid,
nigga,
you don't
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I used to watch movies that were made in English, like an actual movie, and the voice would come out in Spanish, and their mouth is moving in English, and I thought that shit was in Spanish. Imagine an anime. When I'm a kid, I'm just listening to the movie.
This nigga seeing Tom Cruise speaking Spanish.
Exactly. See what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at this nigga. His mouth is moving differently. Yeah. He's saying some Spanish shit, and I'm like, yeah, this nigga's in Spanish. And then I hear that same voice on Goku, because every main character was voiced by the same nigga back in the day. I promise you. And everything. Movies, novelas, everything.
For a lot of the Spanish dubs that they did for a lot of things, there was only a handful of studios, and they were all in Mexico. So like those studios hired the same like voice actors to do a whole bunch of movies, cartoons, anything that was getting dubbed in Spanish. Like most of these Mexican voice actors all had their hands in a lot of dubbing. A lot of Spanish dubs done by the same people. I mean, the voice actors, sometimes they get paid a lot. Like if they have a role that lasts a long time, then they might see a decent amount of money. But
the voice actors, I said they were making money is because they had so many projects for themselves.
Like, like if you're doing a lot of work, then you're making a lot of money if you're doing a lot of work. But Toonami as a whole really did a lot for me because I grew love for so many different things. Gundam, Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho, Saint Seiya,
Los Caballeros del Zodiaco in Spanish, by the way.
there was a lot. Even some of the other stuff. Anybody remember Tenchi or whatever? Tenshin? Anybody remember Tenshin? Rurouni Kenshin.
Okay, that's my shit.
Tenshin. No, I don't remember.
Tenshin.
I don't remember that.
It was like a I guess not so dirty harem type of anime.
I see where you got your love.
And then I was like, yo, this one kid got all these beautiful characters like in love with him. That's crazy. I have
a random question. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I saw this in DR. Have you ever seen Ranma 1/2? I think it's called.
No, it doesn't. That is
this dude that when he is bathed with hot water, he turns into a girl.
No, I never seen that. That sounds
shit is
very
hilarious.
funny, though.
It's hilarious, bro.
No, that's John.
I'm gonna send you the link.
No, it is not. I don't want to bathe and become a woman. That's not what I want.
It's funny though. It's funny, and he is a martial arts
anime,
but it's hilarious.
It's a fighting style. So, throughout the years, I, of course, built that love for video games. My cousin who lived down the hall from me was older. She was older than me by like 5 years. There was a 5-year gap between us. So I never really had like that thing where I felt like girls didn't play video games. Like for me, a girl is who introduced me to video games. So I was just kind of like everybody was always kind of like on the same playing field for me. I found it weird when I met girls that didn't play video games. I was like, what do you mean you don't play video games?
So like, what are you talking about?
I was like, everybody plays video games. Come on.
My cousin plays video games. Your cousin is weird.
My cousin be murdering everybody in video games. What are you
Your
talking
cousin is weird.
Yeah, something like that.
Bitch, you weird. What are you talking about?
Pick up the fucking sticks.
So she introduced me to a shit ton of stuff. She was a JRPG maniac, so that was how I got introduced to all the Final Fantasies and things like that. She played a lot of Tomb Raider, Legends of Dragoon. There was a lot of stuff in the PlayStation era that I got exposed to because she was playing those games. And then she had got Kingdom Hearts, like the original Kingdom Hearts when it came out in 2002, I think it was. And like I watched that and I was just like, I want to be a part of this. This looks fucking amazing. Like this is like me, just definitely too young to play Kingdom Hearts at the time. Was definitely just giving it my all and trying it. And I got the game eventually, and I did love playing it, which is why I still play the Kingdom Hearts series till this day, and I still play the Pokemon series till this day, and I still watch Gundam and all those other things that I was introduced to at a young age. It did a lot for me. I wasn't really always allowed to go outside very often and do certain things. Like my mom was aware of, like the surrounding neighborhoods and kind of what was going on, and just kind of really didn't want to give me the opportunity to really get myself lost hanging out in the streets like that. And, so they kept me inside most of the time, and I kept myself occupied with anime and video games. And it was just something where even till today, I keep my ass in the house and I play a video game and I watch a motherfucking anime and I'm happy as pie. So, it's been something where obviously my taste has changed as I've gotten older and I've gotten more mature, and I've revisited a lot of content that I've experienced as a kid to see if it holds up. And most of those experiences do. Yeah. And I kind of feel bad because I do feel like some of the newer generations aren't going to have the same experiences we did, where a lot of the stuff that we
last week.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the stuff that we consumed at a young age was very strong content, very strong, whether it was story driven or maybe the video game itself had a lot of content in it, hours you could sink into it, replayability, maybe a unique formula that never existed before. Something like Pokemon never existed before. So that concept was just so gravitating for us in that generation. Just the idea of
same thing I was talking about,
monsters that fight each other.
Same thing I was talking about when Legends came out. It's like we had Pokemon. So Pokemon was the thing that we had that was sort of like the Legends, right?
Yeah.
And then Legends just said, let me do this. And flip Pokemon over. And I'm like, okay, now you cannot make a Pokemon game that it's a main series that does not look like this.
That doesn't look like this or feel like this.
Now you just gotta go back. Like
honestly, I would say even like Sword and Shield kind of did that. If anything, like if they would have done Sword and Shield and try to go and try to go back to like the shit that they were doing before, it's just now you're just being counterproductive. Like it doesn't make any sense at that point.
Yeah. So, but you take an idea and a concept, like Pokemon, for example, right? Because we're just talking about Pokemon, and it wasn't done before that, and it was done so well the first time that they did it that it just became what it became today. And Pokemon is like the number one selling IP in the world. Like they sell the most of everything. Just movies, TV shows, merchandise. You know what I'm saying? Card games, video games, all types of things. Like you put a Pokemon on it and it's gonna fucking sell. Especially now that the aftermarket for Pokemon cards is what it is. Bro, you know, it's made everything worth even more. You know, so just being exposed to that, like I played Red and Blue before I got my copy of Silver, but like I didn't really get the Pokemon experience until I had my own game on my own Game Boy, which was that turquoise Game Boy Color and a copy of Pokemon Silver, and just being able to immerse myself into a world like that, you know, was everything to me. Like it didn't matter that the Game Boy Color had no fucking light. It had no light. We were playing in the dark with those little freaking worm lights, barely able to see what was going on.
Used to connect to the Game Boy. I used to eat your battery, bro. And DR, we were like, nah, prende una vela, put a little vela on, and we used to play like this, close to the fire, like this.
Yeah. Bro, it just close to the
battery.
window.
My mom is counting my batteries.
Sitting under the light.
New batteries. My mom was like that. She used to be like, "I'm not buying new batteries." I'm like, "What you mean?
Mom,
we need batteries for this.
We need batteries. I can't play my game. You want me to be on your ass? Like I'll be on your ass. Buy me some batteries."
It was so funny. Me and my brother used to like bite the batteries so it could just give more electricity. You know how my nigga, well, we used to go crazy.
Did nothing like that.
You didn't do that.
You was really trying to squeeze every last little bit of.
We used to put him in the. We used to put him in the freezer too.
I've heard that too,
and it worked
for a little bit.
Trust me, it worked for a little bit.
Y'all niggas definitely benefited from having older people in your life because a lot of that shit. Me being the oldest in my household, bro, it was just me. Like everything that I was doing was just because I liked it. Like the reason why my brothers or my youngest brother likes anime is because I liked anime. The reason why he liked Pokemon was because I liked that shit. You feel me? Like, I mean, because these are two things that I forgot to say. Fun fact about me, I've never finished the whole Pokemon game. I always get to the Final Four. I always get to the Final Four. Let me finish.
The Elite Four.
Or the Elite Four, so Final Four. I'm like still in basketball mode. Sorry. I get to the Elite Four or the Elite. It's Elite Four,
Elite Four, and then the champion. That's the Pokemon League.
And I get past the Elite Four, and I get to the champion, and I can never beat the champion. I put the game down. Like even I got
because you're not leveling properly.
Maybe I don't. Properly. Maybe, but you know me, bro. I don't like to grind like that. And then another thing is
that's what Pokemon is. Sorry, you need to grind, get your levels up, and then sweep everybody.
One more thing. Another fun fact about me is that I used to be heavily in card collecting. So I had like a whole, maybe like 2 or 3 binders full of Pokemon cards that are, you know, gone now. Binders full of Yu-Gi-Oh cards that my brother brought to school one day when I was in Nigeria, and my teacher took it. His teacher took it from him and never gave it back to him at the end of the year. And he didn't think to collect it either because he's a jerk. So, yeah. But yeah, man. Sorry. I just wanted to say that. Continue, John, because I know you're still going on your monologue.
Yeah, no. It's not a monologue, and that's basically it. You know, I want to give Pokemon the credit for being like that first game.
I feel like that's what it is for all of us. You know, like I feel like every single one of us has said at least Pokemon at least once in our little spiel.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's crazy, so, like, right?
Because it's such a big franchise. Like it dominated. Like I told you, I don't know if I ever told you this story, but my uncle, well, one of my favorite uncles, he had us at his house one day, and he wanted to watch Blade, and he had put it on. And this is when he was married when he was a little younger. He's recently remarried, but yeah, this is when he was married, and I didn't want to watch Blade. I wanted to watch Pokemon, so I called his wife, my aunt, into the room and said, "He's making us watch Blade. This shit is scary. I want to watch Pokemon." And he put on Pokemon.
Damn, you a snitch kid,
bro! I did not want to watch that shit. I was like maybe 6 or 7. I didn't want to watch that shit. Put on some Pokemon for your boy. Let me relax. Thanks. I'm here. It's our time together. Why are we watching what you want to watch, man? Let's watch what I want to watch. The fuck?
Right. I'm the kid here, nigga.
Yeah, no, that's definitely poor judgment on your Theo's behalf.
Sheesh,
he said Blade at that. Like, my
yeah,
G,
bro,
seriously?
Blade. Bro, I seen Blade come down and say, "Hey, killing niggas." I'm like, oh no, I don't want to watch this.
Straight slicing dude.
No, I was shook. But yeah,
he thought he was gonna put you on to some shit.
Yeah, nah. But it's crazy because I just
look at Wesley Snipes kill these.
Look at he's going crazy.
Look at him.
It's crazy.
This how we have to.
Today, I recently watched Blade, and that shit was a great movie. I was definitely missing out at 6 or 7.
That movie's hard.
Yeah, but at 6 or 7 years old, you don't really give a shit.
You're not trying to watch that shit. Put on some
trying to watch no Blade at 6 years old.
Yeah.
Also, since we're on the subject, my cousin's family, right? Like my aunt's boyfriend at the time, who had the NES that we used to play at the house and everything. He was also really big into the original Star Wars trilogy. Like, because you remember Star Wars came out in the late 70s. So he had the trilogy on VHS. And that was something that I would go to my aunt's house and he would be like, I really want to introduce you to Star Wars. We're going to sit down and you're going to watch this really fun movie with me. And
for like 2 hours.
And it wasn't like all 3 movies. Like, just
no, obviously one movie is like 2 hours.
Yeah. And I sat there and I watched it with him. When I was very, very young, it was hard to get through the whole thing. As I got a little bit older, I appreciated it and I loved it for what it was.
You know
and
what?
Then when the
talking
prequel
about
series, I'm sorry, Crispin, I'm almost done. When the prequel series came out,
bring it back.
Episode 1, I believe, came out in 1999 or something like that. And my dad made it his business to take me to the movie theater for my birthday because it came out in the month of May. I think it came out like either the weekend of my birthday, because my birthday is usually always Memorial Day weekend. And I remember going to see Star Wars Episode 1 in theaters in 1999. And
I gotta really talk about that shit because
that was because
on that trilogy.
I would love to. I told you episodes back we could do a whole Star Wars conversation at some point, but
we have to save for critical hits.
Yeah, we definitely got to do that one. But like it was just something where like Star Wars was such a really big part of my childhood as well, and it's still such a really huge part of my life, and I think it's incredible that something like Star Wars has that much longevity. But like that just reinforces Crispin's point from earlier about the things that we've had in the past that are strong enough to transcend generations, where people can go back and view the same exact content and say, wow, that was great. Maybe not say it's better than whatever else they like, but just say, wow, that was great. I liked it.
I'm not saying that the anime that came out in our time were better. I'm not saying none of that. What I'm saying is that from what I'm seeing, even the stuff my mom used to like I listened to the music my mom used to like, and I'm like, these niggas is hard, bro. Like, these niggas go crazy. You know what I'm saying? But when the times get closer to like our kids and stuff, or our little brothers or little cousins' time, like when they start watching new stuff from their time, and it's just like, this is good, but I just don't think it's gonna stick for a long time. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was trying to say last week. I don't know.
Generations before us might have felt the same way about what.
That's what I was gonna say. I think it's more of like a generational thing. Not to say that us saying that the shit may not be as timeless. My only reason why for it may not be as timeless is only because of the access of anime. Like, it's very easy to access anime today versus, just like how you said, you had to watch part 1 of 1 or part 1 of 5, part 2 of 5, part 3 of 5 of Naruto just for one episode. That's just for one episode. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So, or like having, or if you, like John said, you have to know someone who knows someone that can get you a VHS or a DVD of a show that you want to watch. Or you'd have to wait up to almost 12 o'clock at night on a Saturday, that's once a week, to watch this shit. Or if you were lucky enough and you lived close enough to home from your school, you could rush home at like 3 o'clock on WB and watch like Dragon Ball Z or Yu-Gi-Oh or some shit like that, So
after schools, yeah.
So it's like more of like a, and again, this is not to shit on the new shit that's coming out, because I do feel like, even though Crispin said that Attack on Titan may not be as timeless, I might have to disagree on that, because And the only reason why I'm kind of teetering is only because they're trying to drag it out with a whole nother season. If they would have finished the season this year, then I feel like it would have been a timeless thing, because the episode I just saw today was kind of crazy in itself. But again, I feel like it's just, again, the access, like it's very easy. If you don't have a subscription to Crunchyroll, Funimation, or Hulu, you can easily just go on one of these third-party websites and watch a whole season of that shit, dubbed in German, French, Swahili, Swedish, Russian. You could watch it in any other language, Spanish. You can watch it in any language. So I feel like it's just the access. It's the same thing with music, you know. When there's so many people putting in music, the shit kind of gets diluted. So when you find that one gem, it's gonna really mean something. So I feel like Attack on Titan may be that one gem, and it could have been that one gem. And we're definitely gonna move on after I say this. I'm going. So, but yeah, like I feel like go to your thing, bro. I feel like and when he comes back, we can like move on to the next topic. Because we've been literally talking about this shit for like an hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like, you know, just with how easy it is to access anime, it's just very easy to get lost in translation. Like an anime that I just recently watched that I think Crispin, you may like, is I don't know if you watched it yet, but it's Rising of the Shield Hero. And I don't fuck with isekais like that, because isekais are basically
you see, this is where the anime and me don't know genre names in anime. I just like that
genre
shit,
names.
That's it. I don't give a fuck.
You know what a shonen is, right?
Yes, I know what a shonen is.
An anime that is made for kids from like
teenage
14 to like 18 years old. Then there's senins, which are made for people who are young adults. Like
I know that. I know categories of the
age group.
Of that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so an isekai, right, is an anime that starts in one place, and you in the first episode you get transported to another place.
Like Sword Art Online and shit like that.
Yes.
Them
I hate them shits too, bro. But I will say, Rising of a Shield Hero is very, very good, bro. I literally just binged 24 episodes in like the past week.
I forgot the name of that shit. I think I gave you the name of that one I like.
Which one?
I gave you one. I forgot. I'm gonna send it in the chat. I'm not gonna look at that.
Okay, cool.
Shit up, right? But I'm gonna put it in the chat.
But yeah, bro, I feel like, you know, when you find those little diamond in the roughs, it's definitely you gotta take heed and notice them. Again, Attack on Titan. You know, of course, we talk about My Hero and Demon Slayer, and I personally think Dr. Stone is another one that's really good that people don't really talk about too much, as far as like some of their favorite animes.
I couldn't get into it, but it's definitely a good story, because just having the fact that everybody went and became rocks, my nigga, and when this nigga said he counted every single day,
bro,
stop with this bullshit, my guy.
Bro,
I was like,
motherfucker counted. He kept his self-conscious. He kept his self-conscious and counted from the day. No, bro, you have to, bro, because I think they're coming out with season 3 soon. Another one that is getting very much acclaim is Spy Family. People have been waiting for that shit to get animated. Yes. So I mean, there's some that are out there that are, you know, that are gonna do what we want them to do, which is be very well and be thought-provoking and have those moments where they're going to they may last forever. Like honestly, I think a moment that will last forever is when Deku punched the big ass robot, and he finally, like, we really saw what Deku could become. I feel like that moment could last like 10 years from now, 15 years from now. I feel like when niggas talk about big anime moments that have happened in the past 2 decades, that's going to be one of them. That's going to be one to mention. So, but yeah, let's move on, because we've been talking about, you know, what we liked and shit like that for an hour almost. And I just want to all right, see, look at this nigga. I just wanna you know, toast real quick, pop some bottles, you feel me? Pop champagne.
I've been drinking the whole time, my fault.
I know.
That's okay, me too.
Yeah, I know. Fucking drunk.
I had ice on my shit. My shit about to get watery.
Yeah, he gotta drink the brugis.
I gotta drink the brugis.
The brugastu.
The brugel.
The brugel. But yeah, man. Let me
You can't say this, John, though.
What is that? What's the name?
Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can. Leinenkugel.
Leinenkugel?
German shit.
Mm-hmm. That's what you said? Leinenkugel?
Yeah, Leinenkugel.
You have to say Leinenkugel. That's how you
Leinenkugel.
Leinenkugel. Shit sound like Kegels.
The Jacob Leinenkugel Brewing Company.
A todos mis dominicanos que ven este podcast, que pueden que sean dos.
So, if everyone could just raise their glass real quick, I just want to say something really quick. All right, guys.
The last bit of this Bruegel in here.
This Bruegel.
I got me a summer
shandy. You sound like a gringo right there. So I just want to say this really quickly. And I know Shawnee and Angel are not here, but this also goes out to them. I appreciate all of you guys, everyone that has helped me from making the logo to, giving me support when I felt like, we couldn't even go after the first 3 episodes. I had to switch it up. I thank you guys so much for everything. You guys take your time out during the week to come here and chop it up about shit that we, of course, love to do. I mean, we love to do and love to watch. So again, I just want to give you guys my appreciation. This also goes out to the people who, have been with us since day one and hopefully will be with us till day infinity, because we ain't stopping until we at the motherfucking top. And like I said, my guys, consistency is key. We keep coming out here. We keep pumping out these videos. We keep pumping out this content, and we're going to see the fruits of our labor.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not
a
even
music
drunk
podcast
yet.
anymore.
And you didn't even drink yet.
I didn't even drink yet. But yeah, again, I just want to say thank you guys, and thank you guys. Thank the listeners. Thank you. Thank everybody, man. I appreciate you guys, and cheers. Let's get it.
Cheers
to 1 year.
Yeah, I mean 1 year old,
1 year, man.
That's crazy.
1 year, man. 1 year.
It was funny because Mac and I used to do a different podcast a while back that mainly focused on like music and hip hop.
Yeah, I've seen the first episode. You still have it on the channel,
and
it's still up there.
See, I am a loyal listener and watcher. See, me.
But even there we go. Even back then, the drops finish. But even back then, there were always instances where Mac and I would sometimes go on tangents about like nerdy things, and we knew that there was always something there that if we decided to just kind of like only talk about those things, we would have a lot to talk about. Almost more to talk about than how we felt about music. Not that there wasn't a shit ton of stuff to talk about when it came to music. There was definitely shit to talk about when it came to music.
Every episode I was shitting on Logic.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of Logic,
leave Bobby alone.
He was in that show, Vox Machina, The Legends of Vox Machina. I think he was in the episode. I'm telling you that he was in the episode.
I don't know. I'm unaware. That's why I said, I don't know.
But continue with your...
It was also a cameo in Rick and Morty. I don't know what else you want me to say. So
fuck that nigga, bro. He's trash. Anyway,
I like him. I like his music. But like there was definitely always stuff to talk about with the music. But we definitely wanted to show people that there wasn't necessarily anything wrong with enjoying the things that you enjoy. Breaking that status quo in a sense where like men don't really like to talk about like things in general that have nothing to do with sports or women or whatever
music.
Gender they're into, or music or something like that, and I think it's super important that we're honest, right? Like with each other, and we talk about the things that we like. We talk about the things that make us happy, things that make us feel good, and we realize how much in common we have with one another. And I think that video games and anime have brought so many different cultures and so many different age groups together to be able to appreciate the same things and realize that we all share similar experiences to one another. And that was kind of the point of putting together the channel as a whole, was being able to, show everyone that, you know, like it doesn't matter like how old you are. Like we're obviously of an older demographic than like the newer kids that are consuming some of the newer media. Like we're all, you know, either in our 30s or approaching our 30s. You know, into the young kids out there, that's pretty old. But we know that that's not really that old. Um, and you know, like there's a lot of ground to break, in my opinion, with people in our like demographic, people in our age groups, you know, just people of color in general, and how we fit into the grand scheme of like nerdy culture in general.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's super important that we all share our voices and our opinions, not only with each other, but with the viewership and with the potential viewership when they go back and they want to look at some of the legacy content that we've left behind. I just think that what we're doing now is a little bit more significant than when we were talking about music. So I appreciated Mac
Not
for
significant,
bringing.
not significant, genuine. I think that's the better
Okay,
word.
I
Genuine.
like that. Genuine is a good word to describe it. Um, you know, I just think that maybe we could be having more of an influence in this sphere than we would
Versus,
in the
yeah.
musical sphere. Not that you and I, or even the three of us, because I know Crispin is very much into music as well. But you know, not that
We
that
got
we're
a song
not,
together.
yeah, not that we're not knowledgeable on the subject, but just you know, I feel like our insight is useful to other people that might be too embarrassed to tell other adults that they like watching anime or that they play a video game from time to time or that they've always played video games. You know,
For
like
sure.
I think this is cool stuff that we've done for the past year. You know, and it's
Hey man.
changed. We've changed the format up here and there. You know, we've done things. Things look different. People got new cameras, new lighting, new microphones, new whatever's going
New
on, new
computers.
computers, new streaming services that we pay for, and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Just to try to be able to put this content out so that you know we can just engage with people and show you know like other individuals that it's okay to like these things, and you know we probably feel the same way you do about the stuff that you like.
No, for
So
sure.
thank
I
you
don't know.
guys for you know hanging out with
I,
us for this past year.
I don't know if you remember when we were doing Do Not Disturb. I always told you, yo, bro, we're gonna do something just me and you, bro. Like I kept telling you that shit. I
Hmm.
could even before I did the Do Not Disturb podcast, you know, I always told you, you know, we're gonna do something, me and you, bro. Like I'm gonna incorporate you into the, you know, because the OMO shit that I'm also connected to. I'm
Hmm.
gonna connect you in there some way, somehow. We're gonna get you to do something because I feel like, you know, your contribution and your mind is definitely something that shouldn't be taken for granted. And you
Appreciate
know,
that.
even
Thank you.
even 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 Crispin, bro. Like I told him too, bro. Y'all niggas is, I mean, for you know, as far as I'm concerned, y'all niggas is OMO. Like it doesn't even
I've
matter,
been
you know.
OMO. What are you talking about? I got
That's what I'm.
OMO shirts and everything. I'm
That's
out
that's
here.
what I'm saying. So like, so
I'm
it just
OMO
made it.
since
It
this
just
shit started. When this
I
shit
got
start?
one of those. I got one of those first batch
What
t-shirts.
it,
facts? Facts.
it just, bro. I got my shit. I got the Wild OMO t-shirt too. I got the other one too. But yeah, like
I
it
had the
just
wild
made
emotion.
it just made sense to, you know, start this shit up. And then when Crispin hit me and was like, yo, man, yo, bro, I see that he was actually one of the first people that like commented on some of our videos. He was like, bro, I remember watching this
I
and
need
the
to be
third.
on this shit.
And he's like, and then he hit me. He was like, bro, son, tell me when you're doing the podcast. I'll come out. And one thing I love about Crispin is that, and like, I tell people this about you, but I've never told you to your face about this. And I apologize
What's
because
going
I
on?
should
What's
always
up?
tell you this shit. But one thing I love about you, bro, is that if I need you for something, you're the type of nigga that say, bro, just let me know the day and time, I'll be there. And you
Facts.
always show up no
I'm like
matter
that
what, bro. So I
always.
appreciate you for doing that shit, bro. Because again, y'all niggas don't gotta come and do this shit. Y'all, both of y'all niggas are fathers. Y'all niggas got lives, jobs, and other shits that are stressing you out. I know it's tax season, so y'all niggas got that shit going on too. So I know it's a lot of shit that,
I'm
because I know
waiting on
both
my
of y'all
shit.
niggas are businesses and have your own businesses and shit like that. So you're
Yep.
dealing with all that other
Being
shit
your
that's
own
going on with
boss is
you.
stressful.
Exactly. So I know y'all niggas is doing what you got to do. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys coming out every single week, or the weeks that we do come out. We've been consistently coming out every week now, but coming on a consistent basis, being present, being active, even though I know John is tired from cutting 30 niggas heads all day, or fucking Crispin is tired of talking to 50 people at fucking where he works. I don't want to give his place of business out.
It's all good.
But,
fuck them niggas though, but it's all good.
But talking to hella people, or same thing with me, I don't want to come here and talk, but like, bro, I really do appreciate y'all niggas, and I really do love y'all niggas from the bottom of my heart. Y'all my brothers, like, for real. I don't give a fuck about you know me, bro. I never give a fuck about none of that frat shit. So it's beyond that, bro. Like, I love y'all niggas with I love y'all niggas with the bottom of my heart. Even Shawnee and Angel that are not here because
it's hilarious. It's hilarious though that all you motherfuckers is.
You're the only one that's not. You're
the only nigga that is not.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's crazy
because
as hell,
what's funny?
I never really looked at none of y'all like that. Like,
that
doesn't represent me either. Like that.
It should never be that way.
Like, I don't
it should never be that way. And we the three of us had this really long ass conversation
in person,
right?
Face to face.
But like, I don't know. It's super funny that I guess like I'm the most like. Heavy out of the whole group, right? And I've never viewed any of the actual bros that are a part of the podcast like as like only that. Like my relationship with these in particular people have just always been like with the person themselves, never really like because of the umbrella of the organization. I mean, like the relationship, I mean, the brotherhood helps, at least for me. Like, I'm that kind of person where I'm like, bros.
Yeah, I appreciate the brotherhood for sure.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to shit at somebody else because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like, it's never been like like this is exclusive shit right here. No, it ain't.
No.
It's
not.
It's not. Love
for fun
is
and
universal,
games, like
bro.
for fun and games, of course. If Maggie said some bullshit about my frat, I'm gonna be like, yeah, but your frat, But I'm not gonna be like, you know what? I ain't gonna talk to Maggie no more. He came like, bro.
It's never that.
If these niggas really want it, they could take my letters away on some real shit. Let's talk about it.
I don't think it's serious.
Let's not talk about it, right? Let's not talk about it. Let's move on to the actual shit that we actually have to talk about.
My bad.
Because it's getting a little late. And we didn't talk about this last week because we didn't get to.
It was getting late.
It was getting late. But and I'm gonna let John kind of control this conversation. But this is, and unfortunately Shawnee's bitch ass is not here. And also Angel's not here. So they could have probably been on the PlayStation side and kind of gave us more insight and what they thought. Maybe next week I'll allow them to give a little bit of, if we feel like talking about this shit again next week. But just to let the viewers know what I'm talking about, I have it up already.
Okay, that was my question. Was did you pull up the information so we could kind of read along?
I actually have comparisons with the two others. So just to give a preface of what I'm talking about, PlayStation Plus has now created their own, or PlayStation. Let me not say it. Sony has now created a PlayStation, a Game Pass like subscription-based service that is competing now with the likes of Xbox and Nintendo Switch, because Nintendo Switch has also entered that game. So I actually have a chart that has all three, and it'll give us like a lot of info in that chart. So I'm going to bring it up now.
I'm curious to see what this chart looks like. Can you zoom in on that image so that we can see the text a little clearer?
Sure. Give me 1 second.
Oh, we got the Switch in here. Okay.
Yeah, so the Switch Online service is going to be the most unique, only because it's not really meant for like too much third-party stuff. There is some old third-party stuff. It's more for like Nintendo legacy content.
Yeah.
So Nintendo used to do a virtual console where you could purchase some of the old games digitally and play them. And this is like the first time where it's like, oh yeah, pay for my online subscription and you could just play those old games. Yeah, so that's the only thing that makes Nintendo Switch Online a little different from the competitors we're looking at here. So to my knowledge, PlayStation decided to fuse both of their services together. So they have PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus, correct? And basically they're going to shrink everything under the PlayStation Plus umbrella. And they're going to basically offer a very similar but slightly different service than Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass. So I believe there's tiers for
it says it right there,
Plus.
tiers.
There's I see. All right, yeah. Let me actually read this shit. I'm just going off of the dome. So the tiers for PlayStation Plus are essential, extra, and premium. So
there's actually one more. I think it's called like super premium, but we can get into that afterwards.
The only thing I'm not a fan of this graphic is that it doesn't list the differences between the tiers. I know that for the most part, the differences in the tiers for PlayStation Plus, like what you get with those tiers, it's basically like the libraries. Okay,
access to all the games is down here. I just have to scroll down, but let's go from top to bottom.
Got you. So we got 3 different tiers for PlayStation Plus, and then for Xbox Game Pass, they separate it to a certain degree, right? So you got Game Pass for console, Game Pass for PC, and then Game Pass Ultimate,
which is console and PC.
Game Pass Ultimate is 3 services. It's the console Game Pass, the PC Game Pass, and cloud streaming. Right. So you're going to be able to use your mobile devices, your tablets, your smartphone, whatever. And you can now cloud stream games on your PC and on your Xbox console as well. So, if when you get Game Pass Ultimate gives you, the Xbox Live Gold, which when you pay for PlayStation Plus, they're giving you that PlayStation online service where you're able to play online, with your friends.
The Essential,
like
that's what it's called.
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus Essential.
And then Game Pass Ultimate is giving you a library of curated content, stuff that Microsoft has paid for the license to basically distribute the game on their service for X amount of time. And with Game Pass, their first party titles will go to the service day one that those titles release, which is a big difference from what PlayStation has told us that they're going to be doing. So PlayStation will offer their legacy content on their new service, but any new first party studio game that's coming out is going to be sold at retail price first. And after whatever amount of time Sony determines, which might be a year, right? If we're being realistic, let's just say for argument's sake, a year after a game comes out, it will hit this PlayStation Plus service and you'll be able to play it on that service a year after. So if you want to be able to play it when it first comes out and be a part of the,
you're gonna have to
the
buy
mix,
that, baby.
you're going to want to buy the game without waiting for it, which is different than what Xbox is doing. Now, before we even talk about Nintendo in this particular section, I just want to point out that Microsoft is a much larger company than Sony, just in terms of like all the different things that Microsoft does, because they're not only hardware, but they're software developers as well. And most technology runs on Windows at some point, right? Unless you're talking about iOS technology, almost everything runs on Windows, unless you're running Linux, which, you're a crazy person at that point if you're running Linux. Microsoft as a whole is able to say, okay, we're going to invest a large amount of money to acquiring studios, letting what these studios make actually hit this streaming service day one without, asking for the buying price. They're able to do all of this up front because they have the capital to do so. Sony as a whole is a large company. They do have a film studio. They do have a music group. They do have, the technology side.
They own Tom Holland.
They own Tom Holland.
That's fucked up.
So they make money in different avenues, right? Like Sony has a film studio, and Microsoft doesn't have a film studio, right? So they have that particular industry yet, right? But so like they're making money in different places, right?
Man, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but I really wish fucking Shawnee was here, bro.
I know.
Because this is literally just gonna be a fucking PlayStation shit show, bro. We're just gonna shit on this shit.
I mean, I'm happy that at least PlayStation is offering something.
Yes,
right?
Yes, of course, because we have actually been talking about this for a long time. I remember when back in the day when I used to make fun of people who had Xbox because they had to pay for online, not knowing that paying for online was actually the safer way, because when PlayStation's fucking shit got hacked and I couldn't go online for almost like maybe a month or two, I was like, damn, bro. Why can't I go online? I go look up. They're like, oh yeah, it's because the servers are so trash. You're paying for free service. The servers are going to be trash. They're not protecting the service correctly. And then that's when they brought the PS Plus model. Maybe in the not PlayStation 3, because PlayStation 3 is when it crashed. But PlayStation 4 when they dropped that, that's when they brought the PS model and shit, like, or PS Plus shit.
Yeah.
So I'm
Microsoft,
definitely happy that they definitely added this, because now they can kind of compete. Plus, again, the ability to play some of those older games and playing PSP games on the PlayStation 5. Hopefully, the shit looks good.
I hope it looks good, because when you blow
that's the
up
only
an image like that was designed to be on a really small screen, sometimes it just looks really messy and blurry. So it all depends on how they emulate it, right? So if the emulator is good and it has like upscaling on it, where it's able to make it look clean on a newer HD console, right, and on a big TV, then I'm all for it. But like the Microsoft being a computer hardware manufacturer, use their knowledge in computers to build a gaming computer that wasn't a computer. It was just a computer that played games. And that was the first Xbox. And then they kind of perfected it a little bit with the 360. And then they added in their online capabilities. So just being a computer hardware developer really helped Microsoft kind of figure out the whole online gaming thing, and gave birth to modern online gaming as we know it. We have to give Microsoft their credit for that. With Nintendo's always going to be the alien in the room, right? So
for this conversation,
but Nintendo in general does not mind being the outlier, because they've made their business revolve around how strong their first party IPs really are, right? Like Super Mario, Zelda, Kirby, Pokemon. Like a lot of these Nintendo icons are always what bring consumers back into the fold, no matter what system it is, whether it's a handheld system or a home console. Nintendo does really well with making people come back to play these iconic IPs, right? So Nintendo doesn't need to compete necessarily with PlayStation and Xbox when it comes to having this type of online service. So the Nintendo Switch online service is mostly your ability to play your games online, and then have some type of library of games that you can play online that are from Nintendo's back catalog. Things from the NES, things from the Super Nintendo. With the Switch Online expansion pass, you can play games from the Nintendo 64. You could play games from the Sega Genesis, and things like that. Now, they might add to the Nintendo Switch Online service as a whole. I'm curious to see what it evolves into when we move away from the Switch and into the next Nintendo, family of consoles. That.
I don't think they should switch out the Switch. No pun intended.
I think the Switch is going to have a 10-year lifespan. So normally, most console generations take about 7 years. Mm-hmm. And I think the Switch is going to last 10 years before Nintendo says, okay, guys, here's the next one. Like, I think Nintendo's really going to milk it. Nintendo's really good. I
think it's going to be, I don't even think it's going to
milk it. I think it's going to be a Switch too. Like, it's going to be the same
a revision
concept,
of the Switch.
but like making it like stronger and more powerful for the games to be better. Maybe they'll put the actual cartridges a little bit bigger, like make them a little bit bigger so it could hold in more information, you know, maybe. And then give you like an adapter so it could be like you could play the old ones too, because that would make it sell like hotcakes too.
Because I feel like I personally feel like, you know, Nintendo is doing what I know people usually compare the Switch to the Wii U, because that was also technically a handheld console as well. But I feel
kind of not really.
Yeah, but I feel like,
but not really.
I feel like the Switch or Nintendo is doing what Sony couldn't do with the PSP and the PS Vita. Mm-hmm. You feel me? They created a handheld system that you can also blow up on your TV, and the resolution is gonna look just as good, if not better, depending on the type of TV you have. Especially if you have the OLED. Come on, that shit is gonna look crazy on a 4K OLED TV.
I got the regular smegular one,
and that shit looks amazing.
I got the first gen one because there's another generation of this.
Mm-hmm. They did a refresh
on first gen one, and I put
this on my TV. They just made the battery better. That's all they did.
I put this on my TV, and I'm out here like, let's get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
so
saying?
I feel like I don't think it's gonna be very hard for them to top the Switch. You know, if they don't make modifications to it, like trying to change it or trying to do something different, it may not work. You know, so I feel like they should hold on to this Switch lifetime or this Switch life cycle for as long as they possibly can.
I'm predicting 10 years. I'm predicting 10 years for sure.
I just think they are going to revise it.
Though. They like, kind of did already.
They already
did two revisions.
Yeah.
There was the second gen.
The OLED is
Switch,
not more powerful. The OLED. The OLED is not more powerful.
The OLED is not more powerful.
It just has a better screen.
It has a better screen, but the design was revamped. So the kickstand is different. It has a freaking Ethernet port now with the dock. Like they're saying this is how the Switch should have been. Here you go, enjoy that.
Yeah. It's like when they did the PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they still made a PS5 though. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
There's gonna be
another one.
I think
there's gonna be another one.
I think they're gonna keep the Switch thing going. You know how they had the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. It was Nintendo type thing.
It's always gonna be like that. Yeah.
Well, no, but I'm talking about like with the same type of cartridges type thing. Back then, those three at the same time, like one after another, those were revisions of the old one. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're gonna do that, like Nintendo Switch 2 or some shit.
We're gonna get something like that. So I just want to. I was gonna say I want to kind of like run through some more of this information.
I just want to preference or talk about the pricing. So as you can see,
make sure that's all you're preferencing. Is just
no, we're just gonna talk about the pricing. I'm not gonna go on another tangent. But just the pricing, as you can see, the essential is $9.99, extra is $14.99, and the premium is $17.99. The only good thing monthly. The only good thing with the new PlayStation, the PlayStation Plus, is that you get the ability to do yearly subscriptions, where it would be $119.99 for a year of the premium, $100 for the extra, and $60 for the essential. And on Xbox, obviously, you can do it. There's a hack. Shawnee will let you know. You can DM him if you really want to know about it. Mm-hmm. But as far as the Xbox is concerned, you can only do the console PC for $9.99 and then the Ultimate for $14.99, which to me on a monthly, if you're trying to do month to month, it's a better price because you basically get everything for $15 a month versus spending nearly $20 a month. I know it's like $18, but with tax, it's like almost $19.
Basically 20.
It's basically 20. Whereas with the Ultimate, you pay like maybe $16 and you get everything. And I mean, again, with the whole idea of not having first party games come to that package or service immediately, that's the only thing that's really scaring me because again, PlayStation, the reason why I don't I talk so much shit about PlayStation is because they like to do shady things. And I feel like this is a shady thing to do, because if you're going to compete with Game Pass, because that's what they're doing when they're introducing this PS Plus shit. They're trying to compete with Game Pass. No one can tell me anything different. If you're trying to compete with Game Pass, then you should compete with Game Pass. Don't try to give us something that is like it, but it's not, because it's not going to make me want to leave Game Pass and now go to PlayStation Now or PlayStation Plus.
It is if you're the type of PlayStation player that wants access to those legacy titles. Or like if you're just like, like, oh, I really don't play any of the exclusive stuff that comes out on Xbox. I really love the PlayStation stuff. Then you're gonna pay for it because it's gonna give you access to the things that you want.
The thing that you want,
yeah. But when you compare the two as they are now, Xbox does give you a better deal. Now there is a possibility, and I do want to point that out, that a few years down the line, Microsoft might change their mind and say, hey, you know what? We used to be able to give you those releases day one. Now they're going to be spread apart. Now the game comes out, and after a little while, then it hits Game Pass, right? I could see that as a possibility. Do I think they're going to do it? I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to keep it like this, where it's always day one, so that they can keep the subscriber count really high.
I just think they shouldn't make
it. But they could change it.
Well, we don't know how. We don't know how long it is.
I know we don't know, but knowing Sony, bro, come on.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. Hey, this is the episode. The name of this episode is Sony Talk. Sony
Smack
Talk
the
shit.
Shit out of Sony.
So we're gonna move on a little bit. We're looking at like other information here, like family plans. Microsoft has talked about that they're going to implement an Xbox Game Pass family plan, which I think is friggin' awesome if they do that. Right now, the Switch online service has a family plan, cheapest fucking online service on the planet. If you don't have Nintendo Switch Online, you just, I don't know. You don't play your Switch. You don't play your Switch, basically.
No, you're a kid. Because you can't pay for yourself.
There's that, right? Because it's so cheap and it gives you access to so many games. It's kind of silly to kind of not do it, especially if you know other people that have a Switch. You do a family plan, everybody's paying like $5 a month at that point for whatever you're gonna get. Like when we're looking at here, we see additional perks. PlayStation saying they're giving you monthly downloadable games, so every month they're going to update their catalog with stuff that you could download to your console, which is really important because a lot of people were scared that everything was going to be leaning towards the streaming side from Sony, but they're saying that you are going to have access to games that you can download to your console and actually play them natively.
Before, though. That's something that they've been doing.
They did, but they had to reiterate that with some of the older titles, there was going to be a selection of them that were downloadable. So like a lot of the stuff from like the PS1, PS2, PSP, PS3 kind of era, a lot of that was stream only. And I remember reading that some of that content is going to be downloadable. I'm assuming whatever is like that first party Sony, games that came out, those are going to be downloadable. The problem that Sony has is that when they developed the PlayStation 3, the hardware to run the PlayStation 3 was so outrageous. There was just I couldn't tell you the technical jargon for why the PS3 is such a hard system to emulate. But what they did with the PS3 was
because of the Blu-ray. It's because of the Blu-ray, bro.
They basically made it impossible to play PS3 games not on a fucking PS3. That's basically what they did. Was they shot themselves in the foot. They made it difficult to play PS3 games on a PS4. It's still difficult to play them on a PS5, which is the reason why a lot of the PS3 content that they have is streaming and not like downloadable content. It's a little weird. And there's so many great games that are from the PS3 era. So that was probably
That was probably their year, like, or their console war win.
Which is funny because, you know, when you look at Microsoft on the other side of that coin, a lot of that Xbox 360 content is backwards compatible, and a lot of it, like your save files, are still attached to your Xbox account. Like there's so many people that are like, yeah, you know, I decided to just re-download X, Y, and Z game because I saw it in my library on my Xbox and I picked up from where my save file was. Yeah.
Like 10 years ago.
That's just how Microsoft
when I was 15.
Microsoft has built such a hefty infrastructure, right? Such a really hefty infrastructure that gives them the ability to just carry all your data wherever you want to go. If I go to Macky's house and I log into his Xbox with my information, I can download any of my games onto his Xbox and pick them up exactly where the fuck I left off at home.
That's hard.
It's because like you said before. It's because, like you said before, man, the ability to have not the ability, but Microsoft being not only a software but a hardware company kind of gave them a leg on in the console wars, man. And I don't see them losing, I mean, anytime soon, bro. Even with, you know, PlayStation trying to bring out this PS Plus and with all the great games that they have slated for this year and next year to come. Like, you know, of course, the only game that Microsoft may really have to beat that is coming out on the PlayStation is the Spider-Man game in my eyes. There's no other game that can compete with anything that the new Xbox consoles are doing right now. So, I mean, with the infrastructure they have built from long ago, it's going to be very hard to beat them. Like, they were very ahead of their time, and I feel very foolish for making fun of niggas who used to pay for for online. Like, I feel very dumb because, like, bro, I wish I could play fucking Budokai 2 that I had on the Xbox. Oh, was it 2 or 3? Maybe it was 3. 3 on the PlayStation 3 now.
PlayStation
and
2.
have even on the even so, yes, I wish I could play that shit now. And say, yeah, I could play it and start from where I was at when I was
left off. Yeah, no, it's like, you can't do that with Sony's products.
Bro, the PS2 still had fucking memory stick.
Memory cards.
It did. Let me go crazy, bro. It did.
You know, a lot of people forget. A lot of people forget that the original Xbox didn't require memory cards because it had an internal hard drive.
Yeah.
It was the first gaming system.
Oh, no, you could take off on the 360.
That had its own internal hard drive that you could save your game data to. You could save music to your original Xbox. It
was crazy.
You could save a whole bunch of stuff. It was a fucking computer, so
it wasn't until you know what's crazy, right? It wasn't until the PS3 that you could start doing shit like that. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? You know, and the PS1, remember, or the first PlayStation was like that shit basically it broke records. It damn near broke fucking Sega's whole shit and Nintendo.
No, it almost killed Nintendo.
And like it killed Sega for damn sure. Like, so, but
you know what's funny? They were supposed to work together.
Yeah,
Sony and Nintendo. And Nintendo was like, nah, nigga.
Nah, I'm doing it with Panasonic.
And then they didn't even do it with Panasonic after that, which is fucking in my opinion. That's the reason why we got all the Final Fantasy games.
Can't say that word.
Fucking PlayStation. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forget. That's a no word. But yeah. I have a bad habit of using that word. But you know, like it just didn't make sense because, you know, if you're gonna backstab another company like that, you might as well do something about it, not just not do anything. But you know, like the rest of this information here is just like pretty standard. You know, like game trials, access to the older games. Like, we were already talking about like backwards compatibility. Xbox right now is the leader in backwards compatibility, which is really weird because Sony is usually the company you think of when you're like, oh, I could play my PS1 games on my PS2, and then if you had the original PS3, you could play your PS2 games and on your PS1 games. But now if you have a newer PS3 model, you can only play PS1 games on it, not PS2 games.
That is dumb.
Yeah, it's because when they made the PS3. The PS3 was just so fucking weird, right? So when they made the PS3, back when they
when
released
the 360
it,
came out.
Yes, that was that generation. They launched the PS3 at $600.
360. I'm glad she did now.
They launched the PS3 at $600.
But we know why. We know
in
why.
2022, $600 in whatever fucking year the PS3 came out. Like what, 2012 or something like that?
Nah,
2012.
Not 2002. Sheesh.
Yeah, no, 2002 was the PS2, bro.
Yeah, like really? What?
Yeah.
So then that was 2007 then.
It may have been like 2007.
Regardless, $600.
Oh, 06.
Okay, so in 2006, $600 in 2006 was $600 in 2006.
Wait, sorry. In North America, 07. I apologize. It came out in
same thing, right?
But yeah,
2006, 2007.
$600 back then is a lot of money.
$600 back then is a lot of money,
but it was because they had marketed as a family device where your kids can play video games and you also can buy Blu-ray DVDs and play them shits on that shit and it'll play perfectly fine. That's why the PS3 is like one of the highest selling consoles, because a lot of people bought that shit because it was cheaper than getting a Blu-ray.
That was the reason for the PS2. The PS2 was the cheapest DVD player on the market. You could actually buy an entire PS2 with the huge library of games the PS2 had and have a cheaper DVD player than just going to freaking Best Buy and buying a fucking DVD player.
That's crazy.
During that time period. Yeah. DVD players were that expensive for some reason. And a lot of people bought PS2s. They were just like, shit, I mean, I could watch movies and my kids could play games. I guess everybody wins.
It just makes sense.
You know, like that was just the thing that happened. And you know, Sony you know, also being the company that manufactures the Blu-ray disc, right, is unique. Like all these companies, they try really, really hard to be self-proprietary. You have to buy our shit if you want to play on our shit, right? Everybody wants to make money on the market somehow. Like the reason why Nintendo Switch cartridges are the size they are and the format they are is because only Nintendo manufactures that cartridge. So all of the third-party game companies that want to make a physical version for their game have to purchase those cartridges for that game from Nintendo.
Crazy.
So you know what I'm saying? Like, so Nintendo's going to charge you a premium for it. Hey, you want a physical version on my system? It's going to cost you. You could do it. Definitely do it. Here's how much they cost. You know, so it's something where, like, you know, you're trying to make money off of every aspect of the market that you possibly can. You're making money off the consumer, and then you're making money off of, you know, your developer end, the people that are developing the games for your system. So there's money.
Yeah, because they have to then now port those games over to the fucking Nintendo, because remember, those games, like a game like 2K, is meant for like an Xbox or a PlayStation.
Something with a little bit more power, give you a little bit more graphical fidelity, give you a little bit more, you know, like ease of play with how fast it runs and the frame rates and things like that. But, you know, there are studios out there that can downsize a game pretty well and fit it on the Switch. There's companies out there that put Doom on the fucking Switch and it runs fucking fantastic. I played Wolfenstein on my Switch.
That's insane.
That game runs fucking fantastic on the Switch. I have no idea how, but it fucking looks beautiful on the Switch. It doesn't look crazy at all. You know, like, so it works. The Switch works. Nintendo is smart because Nintendo loves to use old technology and sell it to you like it's brand new. Nintendo's been doing that for years. That's why they sell their consoles. That's why they sell their consoles at a cheaper premium than their competitors do. And that's the reason why they don't care if their console can't do all of the same things that their competitors do, because they're like, you're still going to fucking buy Mario. You're going to buy Mario. If I put out a new Mario, you're going to buy that shit. Just like because Nintendo said, we're doing new Mario Strikers. And Macky is like, yeah, no, I'm buying that shit.
No, I'm buying that shit. We need that.
And that's it. That's all a company like Nintendo
listen to me right now. Any Mario sports game, your boy's buying it, my nigga. If they make a Mario cross them over NBA, my nigga, what? Mario Street? Oh, my nigga, don't even tell. Mario doing game breakers? Oh, nah, it's over for these niggas,
Mario
bro.
just gets the star and just starts wailing.
Ooh, he do the slip and slide. He got the behind the back, pass it. Ha-hee. Come on, son, it's over.
I think we can move on from the screen share that you've got. We've already kind of looked at that. In my opinion, I still think that Xbox Game Pass is the best bang for your buck. I think if you're going to spend the money on a monthly service and you're wondering which service you want to buy into, I still feel the same as I did in the past, and I think paying for Game Pass Ultimate is the better buy. You get access to games on your computer, your phone, your console. You're getting access to their Xbox exclusives the first day they release, day one. You can pre-download most of those games too, so they're just there and ready for when you're able to play them when they become available to the public. I think that the ease of service is better on Game Pass. I think being able to have all of your information saved to the cloud and just pick up where you left off anywhere. If you're playing a game on your Xbox and you want to just transition and finish playing on your cell phone later at another part of the house or at work or somewhere, like, you can do that. And I think that the accessibility of Game Pass just kind of beats the legacy content that Sony is putting on PlayStation Plus. I understand that many people deeply enjoy PlayStation's exclusive games. I know there's a lot of fans of Spider-Man and The Last of Us and Uncharted and like all of these God of War, all of these iconic franchises that Sony has put together, Ghost of Tsushima. Like there's a lot of really great content on Sony's platform, and I understand why they want to sell it to you at a premium. But if we are comparing services and only services, I think for what you pay for, you get a better service with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate than you would with the new version of PlayStation Plus. And most of y'all might disagree with me. In terms of the audience, most of y'all might disagree with me. If you really love playing on your PlayStation, I highly encourage you to continue.
Please.
But from what we've seen, and we saw the data, Macky pulled up all of that information side by side, I genuinely believe that you're getting the best bang for your buck on Microsoft. If you have a Switch, you should have Nintendo Switch Online anyway.
If you have and you play your Switch, because if you don't play it that much, then I understand. I have a Switch. I don't play it as much. I only have it for when I go on vacation, so that I can play it like on the plane, or like if I want to play with the family, then I can play that game. But I just wanted to say this as well before we move from this topic to like end the podcast with John's One Piece review. So Xbox has actually just, not recently, but they had promoted it before, but they stopped promoting it, and now they're promoting it again. Xbox All Access, where you can literally buy you can not buy, but you can like lease,
finance.
I guess.
You're financing it.
That's the better word. A finance and Xbox 360.
I was gonna do that.
An Xbox Series X or Series S.
Series X.
I was gonna do that for the big boy.
Yo, the fucking Asti is fucking up my mind, bro. I'm like a little lit. So you can finance an Xbox Series S or X for $24.99 or $31.99 respectively for 24 months, and get Game Pass on both of those. And I feel like, again, man,
you
Xbox
don't even have
is
to
just
pay full price for the console up front. They say you could pay us over time.
You could pay us over time. You just have to. I think they're gonna do like a
service.
They're gonna give you like a credit check or something like that.
Yeah, they do a credit check. That's why I didn't do it. My credit ass cheeks.
Yeah, I feel you. But again, man,
we'll help you. We'll help you.
Again, man. I'm gonna have to agree with John here. Just looking side by side, what you can get. I mean, of course, me that has literally played PlayStation for majority of my life, and this is my third year with an Xbox, and I can honestly say that I prefer it. Even like just how the opening layout screen is from when I want to play my games. The operating system on Xbox looks so much better than the one on PlayStation. And I've had PlayStation 2. I've had 2 different PlayStation 3s. and I've had a PlayStation 4, and I can honestly say, and my brother has a PlayStation 5, and I can honestly say, just looking at all of them and looking at how I haven't seen the new Xbox Series S operating system, but just the Xbox One.
It's the same. The Xbox One, they updated everything so it looks like the Series X. Yeah, you're on the updated operating system.
It looks beautiful. It's very simple.
It's smooth.
And it's user friendly.
You can customize every goddamn part of that fucking operating system as well. Make it the way you want it to be.
Yes, make it match your personality. And I feel like that's one thing that PlayStation, and it's very funny because I'm an Apple guy, so it's like it's very funny for me to be using Microsoft things because I don't fuck with Android shit like that. But what I will say
Android is not from Microsoft, boy.
I know it's not, but they have the ability to customize almost everything, and Apple does not allow you to customize anything. That's why I mentioned it.
He's comparing Android software to the Xbox operating system.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So, and I feel like, of course, PlayStation is more like Apple, where it's like they give you what they give you, and you got to do it, or
you
it's
use it like
shit out of
this,
luck.
or that's it. Yeah.
So I feel like with that being said, we can move on to closing out the pod, and John,
where you at?
So the last episode,
John,
we ended off.
If you didn't watch some episodes,
I did. Hush your face.
I will literally.
I'm closing it right now.
Nigga, I'm off tomorrow. I will come to Jersey City and we can fight in front of the barbershop. I promise you, bro. I'm off. I'll take the train up there.
That's fine.
I bet.
How
many episodes? What? Bro, if you didn't watch, if you watched less than 10 episodes,
end the arc already, nigga.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
So,
like, I'm tired of hearing you talk about this.
So I've seen one episode. I'm joking. So
I would have been like
the last episode that I reported to the podcast was episode 302, and I've made it to episode 315.
Okay.
I was gonna say 50.
So
no, that's what I thought I heard first.
350. No, imagine.
That's what I thought I first heard.
I made it to episode 315. So
you're at the end of the arc.
I've officially seen the conclusion of the fight between Luffy and Lucci. In this fight, they gave the explanation for Gear 2, for second gear.
Luffy gave the explanation.
No, Lucci gave the explanation.
Well, oh yes, no, you're right. Sorry.
And which I didn't like, because the way that the explanation was given to us was just Lucci was fighting with him and then said, "Oh, I see what you're doing." Really? You saw that?
It's because he mimicked it from like their moves.
I get it, right? But it was how he was able to do the power up, right? And it didn't make sense to me in the beginning, right? Like watching Luffy, like accordion his legs and then spread them back out. And then Lucci explains that, oh, you're pumping all the blood from your body basically, and like bringing it up to basically like increase how much blood your lungs and your heart is like kind of like pumped, because since you're made of fucking rubber, they're not going to explode like a normal person's heart would, and you're able to kind of use all of that energy and adrenaline, which is the reason why he turns
before you
pink.
Keep going. Yes, before you keep going, Crispin, it's crazy that when we first heard that, we did not think that what's going on in the manga right now is happening, bro. Like, it's crazy, right? Continue, John. I'm sorry.
So
I feel like he played me.
Yo, facts.
He played me.
Facts. Continue, John. Continue.
Ahead, John.
Thanks.
You're gonna be excited, John. I promise.
I hope so. So that's the explanation they gave for Gear 2. We saw Gear 3 and what he called the bone balloon, and which I still don't necessarily understand how he's blowing air into his fucking bone.
He's a rubber guy. Everything is rubber.
I understand, but I don't get it.
Because
everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. Even Gear
when
2
you
now,
when you get to chapter 1046,
45.
45, you'll understand why he's doing what he's doing, bro.
Got it. Right. With Gear 5, I understand.
Episode 1015.
I just want y'all to know that Twitter is not very nice to me. And Twitter
you
still
want to understand it, though.
I don't understand it, but I have seen Gear 5 and I've seen all the panels of him fighting Kaido or whatever his name is. Kaido. I have seen Kato. I have seen Kaido in his dragon form and Luffy beating the shit out of him.
Hybrid dragon form.
Them having fun beating each other's faces and shit, like I've seen the panels. I've read some of them already too, because that's how
you're spoiling yourself.
Now you're spoiling yourself, my nigga.
That's how much it gets posted.
No, yeah,
on Twitter, it's like I'm just like, TikTok, all right, I've seen these panels so many times.
TikTok is worse, bro.
Don't go to TikTok. They just be like, so episode. Shut up, nigga. Say spoiler first, so niggas can just keep swiping.
Facts.
So,
go ahead, John.
So like I see eventually where we're gonna be at, but
you just finished the fight.
He just finished the arc.
Just finished the fight.
No,
and then
what
I just saw, what happened in the last episode was after they finally left Eni's lobby, after they fucking.
You missed the Buster call? You got past the Buster call.
Everything is done.
My bad.
Buster call happened.
You said 3:15, right?
3:15.
Yeah, he ended the thing.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure. I wanted to know where he was at. Keep going.
The what? Who ended what?
The episode. I looked up the episode.
The arc. You ended the arc at that episode.
When I say I'm on that episode, that means that like the next episode I'm going to watch is that number. Like that's the episode that like I stopped at. So so basically they got Robin, they left. They did the whole thing where the Going Merry actually fucking showed up and rescued them, and
that was hard.
That was hard, bro.
It was tough. It was tough. I just want to talk about how much
I know.
Fake
yeah, I knew you were gonna say that
because I heard the fucking whale sounds, and I was like, how the fuck did Laboon come all the way out here? That's fucking fire. They forgot. Yeah, we have one more friend. I was like, yeah, you left that motherfucking whale that was like, I'm your fucking friend now. Yeah, I remember the whale. I remember him. He's there. I know he comes back in the story fucking somehow with one of the other Straw Hats, right? I understand. But what pisses me off is that it wasn't the fucking whale. It was the fucking boat. And so it was the fucking ship. So the ship is making whale sounds. And and now the ship is just
that nigga say
and now he's talking to everybody. Now the ship is just talking to everybody. Now I'm upset because now I thought that it was just something that made Usopp special, and that Usopp could hear the spirit of the fucking ship. And I was like, oh, okay, that's great.
But the
Usopp
first thing I noticed
connection to the ship, and he heard the ship speak, and he saw the manifestation of the ship, and he heard the voice, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is great for Usopp's character. No. Everybody could hear this fucking ship talk. Iceberg heard the ship talk. The ship forced him to fucking fix it. He didn't even know why he was doing it. He was like, why the fuck am I fixing this fucking boat? This shit is trash. Oh, well.
It's because Iceberg is a fucking, what is he called? What are they called? Shipwright. He's a shipwright, man.
Yeah. So, and then the ship just fucking is like, thanks. Like fucking sails away.
I said
that nigga got. First of all, that motherfucking ship. They said that the spine of the ship was broken and you cannot fix it. That motherfucker got all the way from fucking Water 7 through the storm, all the way to Eni's Llama. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
That nigga was the GOAT. He said, "This is my last one."
He said,
"This is my last one, right here."
Be there for them, and I get it, and I like it. But it is a little out there, but it's okay.
It's bullshit.
It's okay.
It's bullshit. You can say it's bullshit. I thought it was bullshit, but it was
no. You can say it's good bullshit.
It was perfect bullshit. It was
good.
Bullshit.
It was good bullshit, but it was bullshit because I would have been happier if it was the fucking whale. I would have been happier.
Nigga, the whale coming all the way from the fucking from the red line.
Yes,
that's crazy, bro.
Yes, because that would have made more sense than the fucking ship doing it.
No, wouldn't have, bro. Because we know that that's one. 2, we know the ship is fucking it has sentient life. Like we saw it with Usopp.
We see
but the whale is
bit.
waiting for somebody else. That nigga not coming after
I know,
us. He doesn't have
and I know who the whale is waiting for because fucking Twitter spoiled that too. Anyway, so everything. Yes,
this nigga said the whale.
The whale. Laboon. So, you know, I know that character will come back into the story when it is appropriate for that character to be mentioned again, right? But you know, I thought that they were talking about the fucking whale. It wasn't the whale. It was the Going Merry. And then they burned that bitch. And then everybody
Okay, you
cried.
got up to there.
Yeah,
okay.
they cremated her.
Done.
They cremated the Mary. They cremated the Mary.
Thank
God. Did you cry?
What? It was sad. I didn't cry, but it was sad. I felt sad watching the ship burn.
Every single time I watch the
flashbacks
shit,
and stuff. I was like, damn, you know, they're saying goodbye to the ship. That kind of sucks. You know,
their
because
first ship, bro.
Did your wife cry?
Curious. I didn't look to see if she cried, but she usually does at moments like that. So I want to go ahead and say she did.
Right.
but you know,
because my girlfriend cried.
So you know, like they you know, they showed all the flashbacks and everything, and I definitely felt for the characters when they lost the ship. And for a while I've been trying to figure out, right, because I always try to figure everything out ahead of time, but I've been trying to figure out how do we get the new ship, right? Because the new ship, I've seen it already. The new ship looks a lot like the Going Merry. I can't tell. It's like really tiny in the background there. All I see are the sails in your head. That one, yes, with the lion face on it, right? So we've already gotten.
It's not a lion; it's a sun.
That is a lion. So
no, it's a sun. It's a sun.
It's a sun with a fucking face.
Yes, it's a sun.
Okay, so the lion is on the front. is on the front of the fucking. Is on the front of the ship. And I know that Frankie's going to build it because he already came up and said, hey, you remember when I stole 200 million berries from y'all motherfuckers? I actually bought like, you know, a gangsta ass tree with it.
The best wood ever.
And I want to build the most gangsta ass boat with the most gangsta ass tree. And I want y'all to sail on this gangsta ass fucking boat. So they haven't recruited Frankie just yet. I know that's coming, but they haven't recruited Frankie just yet. But he's already said, please let me build this boat for you. And then they introduced Luffy's grandfather.
Oh, you got him, Garp.
So and then Garp is like, oh yeah, your father
Garp.
The P.
Yeah. Garp. I thought it was Garp. So
that sounds like you barfing.
Garp. So Garp is like, yeah, your dad is Monkey D. Dragon. I'm like, all right, cool. The guy that saved him in Logtown, right? Which I already knew. They were like, oh, you met
Logtown.
Logtown in the Japanese dub is Log, and it's spelled Log.
It was
in English.
Okay,
it's spelled Log.
It's pronounced in English. In the English dub,
log.
They say log, but I always pronounce it log.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
The fucked up part is that in the anime, in Japanese, the name of the town is in English and it says Log.
Yeah, L-O-U. But they pronounce it like Log Town. I don't know.
Town Log.
I don't get it.
Log
continue
town.
Though, please continue.
Anyway, so as
the windy motherfucker that saved Luffy.
As soon as they said that Luffy met him in Log Town, I knew it was the guy that helped him escape.
For sure.
Because random ass character, never see him again, never hear from him again. Hadn't seen him before that. I was like, all right, cool. He's obviously important.
That happens in One Piece. Let me ask you this before you keep going. We saw Shanks in the first like 2 episodes. Have you seen that nigga since?
Only in flashbacks. Once when he found out that Luffy had a wanted poster, and then everybody drank to it. He was like, "Oh, Luffy, fucking did it!
He did it!
This nigga's the pirate.
You're fucking degenerate, yeah."
And then they play that freaking piano bar music.
No, that's their favorite tune right there.
So you know, like I went into a video game store yesterday and they were playing that fucking piano
really?
jingle, and I was just like,
they're playing some ragtime. That's nasty.
No, it was like a whole One Piece like soundtrack, and it was the One Piece. Yeah, so but you know, so you know, like I have an idea of like, you know, like where we're going with the story and everything, but there were just certain parts that pissed me off. The going Mary showing up pissed me off a little bit. You know, it was good and it was satisfying, and I understand why, and it makes sense, and they cremated her and everything is okie-dory. I get it, right? I'm just saying that was an ass pull. That was definitely an ass pull.
We understood that from the get.
Yeah, so but it's okay. I liked it. Ass pull was just fine. And you know, the ass pull, only you can make that sound sus. Stop. Only you.
Bro. Why keep going. With this nigga, dog.
Wait, hold on. I want to ask this, right? Because I know we didn't really even talk about like we glanced over, but we didn't really talk about how Tom like created the
puffing Tom.
No, how he was the one that created the ship.
The train is called
the ship from Gold Roger. Gold Roger.
Yeah,
ship. That was the reason why he was in trouble with the world government in the first place, and they wanted to convict him for helping the king of the pirates by building him a ship.
So and just to let you know,
the wood.
Go ahead.
From that tree, right? Is the same type of wood that Tom had used to build Gold Roger's ship.
Yes.
Frankie's telling them, I bought the same tree, the same wood that was used to build the previous King of the Pirates ship. That's the wood I'm going to use to build this ship, and I want you guys to sail on said ship. He said, this is the last ship I'm ever going to build because I'm in the demolition business, not in the shipwright business. So that's what, you know, that's basically what he wanted to do, was one last hurrah. That's what he says. That's how he explains it in the last episode that I just saw. You know, I love the development of Frankie's character throughout the arc, because they really make you hate that guy in the beginning, Water 7, because he just seems really obnoxious and really incompetent. Like, doesn't even seem like a character that has a grip on reality, right? Like him hanging out in his fucking Speedo, not giving a flying fuck about how much Water 7 really doesn't like him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just kind of being himself. They make it make sense where he tells Iceberg, I ain't going nowhere. I'm keeping these fucking blueprints, and that's it. I'm staying here. I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. You know, Cuddy Flam is no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You know, and seeing Iceberg talk about, I want to make Water 7 a floating city. I know we're going to see Water 7 at some point be that floating city. You know, because he's putting his mind to it, and he's saying, you know, I want to do it resolutely, the same way that Tom built the Puffing Tom resolutely. He made the impossible possible and made an actual train ride a rail that was partially submerged in the ocean and get from one island to the next without needing a log pose. You know, so just like the amount of world building that Oda has done for this particular section is really, really interesting, because he's playing by his own rules, right? Like, you can't traverse the Grand Line without a log pose, because it needs the magnetism from that body of land in order to say, okay, yeah, we're going in that direction, because there is no north, south, east, or west on a regular compass around here. This is all fucked. And he's making it make sense. Okay, so what would happen if two islands, you know, didn't have access to each other all the time? You know what I'm saying? Like, there would be issues with trade. There would be issues where not everybody has a log pose. There would be all of these things.
That's why there are certain islands that are like, you know, very small knit tight communities, where they can only do so much on this particular island, because trying to travel to, especially on the Grand Line, trying to travel to the next island, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to be one of them guys to do that shit. And you know, for the most part, all those islands are self-sufficient. You feel me?
Yeah.
Or they're fucking jungles for the most part.
So the only thing I want to talk about before we end, because I've kind of recapped what I've seen and how I felt about it. You know, and I want to do more like character dissections as it goes on. But you know, like, I've noticed majority of the entire story has taken place on the Grand Line. Obviously, the beginning of it didn't. It took place in what, the East Blue they were in, right? And then they all made their way to the Grand Line. I know majority of the story is going to take place on the Grand Line, but it just makes me curious to know what the rest of the world is kind of up to at this part of the story, and what role they play in the world politics and everything. And is the story going to leave the Grand Line at any point and deal with some other issues, and then maybe return to the Grand Line, or maybe never return to the Grand Line because maybe it's not that important anymore in the future? I'm not entirely sure, but I've just noticed.
I'm gonna give you a spoiler without giving you I'm gonna give you a spoiler without giving you a spoiler. Okay, at the end of every arc, they go to what's happening in the world after the arc, so that it can give you an update on what other people are doing. So, for instance, at the end of this arc, you may see Vivi again. You may. I don't remember if you do or not. But you so. just say you do, and you'll see what she's doing in her kingdom, and you'll see what other people are doing, what's going on in the other parts of the world. But for the majority of the story, yes. But majority of the story is going to be on the Grand Line, and then when you get to the time skip, the New World after that.
The New World is still the Grand Line, though.
Yeah, it's just another section of the Grand Line.
Section of the Grand Line.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so much world, right?
Yes,
and I know the majority of the adventure is because the Grand Line is what it is, and it's chaotic and crazy and all that stuff like that. But
one last spoiler before you say what you're going to say. I'm sorry. I'm going to forget.
Yeah,
it's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler because you saw it already. But I don't know if you remember when they were going through Robin's backstory and they showed the professor, one of the historians, talk, and they showed like the world, and then they showed the moon of the world. The world, one piece that lives on, has about 7 or 6 different moons. So that's why the waters are so chaotic, because there's so many different moons. Just to kind of give you like an understanding of something.
And then that's a prerequisite to the moon people, and then everything from Skypiea and Eneru and all that other stuff. Yeah, I know. So there's lore that I know I'm going to get into and I'm going to enjoy and I want to revisit. Like, I've even seen like images of like fucking crocodile fighting with them in the future at some point, and I'm just like, oh, that's fucking
don't spoil yourself,
bro. It's not me. I'm just saying, I've seen like
it's
images.
Not me.
It's not me looking for it. I'm just scrolling, and it just fucking pops up. So it's just really hard to not see it. But it's something where I know that the story is definitely going to continue coming back full circle, right? Because that's a theme that you've stressed since the beginning, is that like everything you see will come back at some point. Every character will be relevant. They freaking reintroduced Helmeppo and
Kobe
and when the fuck did they grow up? Because I'm just like, why doesn't everybody else look fucking grown up? Why does Kobe look fucking grown up? And it's just like, yeah, we would fucking.
It's because it's because he's been in the army. No, bro, it hasn't been not even a year.
It hasn't been a year. But the thing is that he's 13. They're both 13, so they just turned 13. So
they're finally
doesn't hit
puberty.
Puberty doesn't hit as soon as you hit 13.
True.
I'm guessing they hit puberty and they just, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, they've been in the army. They've been in the Marines.
They've been in the army. They've been going crazy.
They've been working out. So, you know what I mean? Kobe might have had one. Kobe might have one of the greatest glow ups in anime history. I cannot lie to you.
Yeah, that nigga crazy when he was
But the fact that he was able to, he was using shave and like all that stuff, and that little teeny tiny spat that he had with Luffy, and I was like,
Luffy put him in his ass though. Luffy was like,
I mean, yeah, right away, but still,
you stupid as hell.
It was dope to see those characters actually like getting stronger, and Oda actually paying attention to them and giving them like worth and value and like progression and character development. Excuse me. Which is awesome. It's great, and and I get it.
Bro, this is gonna take over for Dragon Ball for you, bro. I promise you.
It was funny. It was funny that Helmeppo was like, "You guys don't remember me," and Joe was like, "Nigga, what? Who the fuck is you?"
And he was like, "Oh, you was I tied you up and I made you my prisoner and we did all this stuff." And they're like, "Oh, it's you."
Oh, bitch ass nigga.
Out of here, you crushed.
No, but I still hate them. I honestly think for you, before you end the podcast, because I know you're gonna end it after I say this. Yeah. But I think for you, this is gonna surpass One Piece is gonna surpass Dragon Ball for you, just because I know your love for attention to detail, and One Piece is just like that's like literally what they do. Everything and literally everything that happens in One Piece has a secret meaning. Like even the fucking I know you don't read the mangas, but even the manga covers, my nigga, they have meaning to what's going on in the anime. It's crazy.
I believe you. I don't take any of that information for granted, because so far everything that you said has been pretty spot on. And I do greatly appreciate the narrative in One Piece. I try not to keep saying that every time I do a One Piece review. So that's why I've just been trying to keep it like information heavy, but it's definitely something where I really do appreciate it. And and the story is moving. I'm happy to finally be done with Enies Lobby. I'm just waiting to see like where we're gonna go and how the story is gonna progress, and when they get the new ship and when Frankie decides to tag along and all that other good stuff. And whenever the hell Usopp and Luffy make up, because right now freaking Usopp's still hiding under the Sogi King mask and doesn't want Luffy to really know that it's him.
Oh yeah, so Zoro has already. Come on, bro.
Zoro has
he said his piece, right?
Like, no, wait, what do you mean? Like, said his
he hasn't said it yet.
Never mind.
Never mind.
So he hasn't said anything. But Zoro's the one where he's already said in his head, like, what is it going to take for Luffy to realize that that's Usopp? Like, what's,
oh yeah,
like Zoro talking like he don't know Luffy. Zoro be talking like he don't know Luffy, bro.
Yeah, he's just like, what is it going to take for him to realize that that's the entire time?
Just wait, because
it's a last minute conversation, bro. Literally a last minute conversation.
So, but go ahead, close it out, bro. Close it out.
Yeah, we'll see that, and I will fill you guys
next week. You'll definitely talk about that
stuff on the next review.
On the next episode of Paradise
John
Podcast.
in One Piece.
All that good stuff. So that is definitely all the time that we have for you guys today. I want to personally thank everybody for making it this far to the end of the podcast and for rocking with us for the past year. It's definitely time to celebrate. So we're gonna stick around for you guys a lot longer. So here's to the next year and then the years after that. If you did enjoy today's episode of the podcast, do not forget to like the video, share it with friends and family that might be interested in anime and video game content. And don't forget to follow the Paradise channel and all of its social media and our individual social media, which will all be linked down in the descriptions. And there will be access to all of that information somewhere here on the screen and on your YouTube homepage somewhere. It's going to be there. Interact with it, comment, like it, love it, talk to us. We here. And that's basically it. Let us know down in the comments below. How were you introduced to your favorite mediums? What were your first animes or first video games that kind of got you into loving that kind of stuff? And how do you guys feel about the comparison now that we have all of the information for PlayStation's Game Pass competitor? So are you going to be subscribing to PlayStation Plus, or are you going to be subscribing to Game Pass Ultimate, or are you just going to skip over those two and say, you know what, I'm going to play my Nintendo Switch online forever? What are you going to do exactly? Let us know down in the comments below. And that's it. That's all we got for you guys today. I am officially out of here.
Thank you for the 1 year, motherfucker! What the fuck is this?